What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to go through a grouped box plot, or a grouped bar plot rather, using Python's modules Pandas and Matlplotlib. Alright, let's get going. So the first thing I do is I just pull in the data. I got that from a user on GitHub. I will link to that below. I rename an unnamed column with the name brand. I'm just using the MT cars data set. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. It's just got a list of cars, different makes, things like cylinder type, miles per gallon, horsepower, etc., etc. So that's just these first few lines here. And then I'm also specifying the font styling that I want to use within the plot. All right, so let's go ahead and prep the data and plot it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and get a grouped mean and a grouped standard deviation for these. I'm going to group by cylinder, and there are 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, and 8-cylinder cars in the data set. And so I'll group by those. I'll get the means for all of the variables based on cylinder and the standard deviations based on cylinder, and then I will just pull the columns that I want to plot, and then I'll plot them. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and say df means, and we're going to set that equal to my data, and we're going to use pandas group by, and we're going to group by cylinder. Now cylinder is just the column name, so we'll group by cylinder, and then we'll get the mean. Okay. Similarly, for the standard deviation, we're going to say dfsd will be equal to my data, and again we're going to call group by, and we're going to also group here by cylinder, and instead of mean now we're going to find the standard deviation. Now what I want to do is just pull the columns that I'm interested in using. So I'll say df means is equal to df means, and we will only call the columns that we want. Let's just call in miles per gallon, and let's do another one. Let's do horsepower. That's just HP in this data set. Oh, and when we're calling these in, we actually have to call these in like this, so they have to be in a list. And we have to do the same thing with our standard deviations, so this will be dfsd, and within this we're going to do the same thing, mpg, and hp. Okay, that should be all we need to do actually for data prep. Let's go ahead and start plotting this. So we're going to do df means, and we're going to do plot. We'll do kind is equal to bar, and then we will say what else can we pass in here? We can pass in some stylistic things. We can do edge color, for example, and set that equal to black. Oh, whatever, you can look up how to change some of these things. And then we will add, using Matplotlib, we'll add an X label. And the X label is going to be set to cylinders. And we will call in the font dictionary that we defined up above. So we'll say font dict is equal to font. Again, that's just our styling dictionary that we created at the top. And then we can also say, we can give it a Y label. Because we're going to be plotting multiple things on the Y axis, we're just going to kind of give it a blank label there. We won't put anything over there. Anyways, you can go through and style this how you want. But we'll do plot show, save that, and then let's go ahead and run this and see what we get. So there you have it. Right, it's grouped by cylinder. We've got multiple things on the y-axis. The blue color there is MPG, and the orangish yellowish color is horsepower. And so you can see those with more cylinders have larger horsepower, higher horsepower, and lower miles per gallon. Not surprising, right? And so that is just your basic grouped bar plot. Pretty simple. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please go ahead and like it. Subscribe to my channel to see more. You can also find me on Twitter. You can find a lot of this code posted on my GitHub page, which is linked below. And you can also find me on LinkedIn, and you can find my academic work on ResearchGate. All right, until next time, keep coding.